Have you ever wondered, how long should I give before expecting a real commitment? If you're giving more than this, you are probably doing it wrong. I'm going to show you some commitment rules in this video. Let me guess, you've invested time, energy, your heart into somebody only to realize that they were not who you thought they were. So you keep wondering, how long should I give before getting serious? Or is it just an excuse for people wasting my time? The longer you stay in this cycle, the more exhausted you feel. Then you start questioning yourself. Am I really expecting too much? Should I just be more patient? But deep down, you know the truth. A man who truly values you will not need endless test runs before committing. They don't need you to prove that you're worth loving. If you keep treating early stage of your relationship just like a hypothesis instead of a real mutual connection, you keep attracting partners with that mindset. If you're tired of guessing how long to give someone before they step up or you step out, then this video is for you. If you're ready to understand exactly how long you need to give before expecting a real commitment, you're in the right place. Let me tell you about one of my clients, Angellika. Angellika is such an amazing counselor for women raising children with disabilities. She herself is a mom to a child with a disability. When I tell you she has the patience of a saint, not only does she have a level of endurance that I have yet to see in anybody else, she also has the heart of a saint. The challenge Angellika was facing is she had been hurt before by a partner who didn't want to deal with a disabled child and chose to walk away, and she still had the scars from the separation. She thought she had completely healed, and then she meets this amazing guy. That's when the fear crept up to the surface again. Too many people waste time on the free trial of a relationship, hoping for a commitment that never comes. I gave Angellika one key strategy to solve this, and today I'm going to give it to you. Let's get straight into it. Now, with this in mind, we're in different places where different things are important to us, where different things are priority. Can you agree? I will be the first one to say that I made the mistake of assuming that all our needs of human beings, that all our needs as human beings were similar. Boy, was I wrong. Getting hurt the first time hurt. Getting played the second time, it birthed a rage inside me. I knew something was missing, but was I strong enough? Was I angry enough? Was I frustrated enough? Was I tired enough to find out what it was and change it? We have a tendency to blindly believe that just because we've gone through that pain, just because it hurts that time, you're immune to going through it again. Have you ever wondered, what is to stop this from happening again? Is there a guarantee that I don't get played again? I had to learn the one question that will save me a lot of time and a lot of heartache. I had to learn that my fear was a manifestation of my lack of confidence, that I had the skills to prevent that pain from happening again. I was my first cheerleader, I was my first confidence coach, and I was my first friend. Smart decisions start with smart questions. Are we even going in the same direction? Seems simple, right? But it's not. Fortunately, there are 3 proven laws that make it effortless to apply this question. Now, let me walk you through them step by step. Law number 1, the law of reciprocity. Are your needs being met as well? If you continue the journey with us, I will go over how to discover your non-negotiables and knowing the difference between wants and needs. But for now, simply put, do you feel emotionally safe enough in this relationship? Do you feel like you're getting your emotional needs met? Now, before I was a coach, before I took the time to look into why some relationships stand the test of time, I would get so frustrated and be drained by being with somebody who I thought I was in love with. I wondered to myself, how did I get to this point where I'm saying, babe, I don't really care who's right or wrong. How did I get so emotionally detached? We have a tendency to overlook our own needs in a relationship to keep peace. We fall for the lie that maybe if we ignore it, maybe if we sacrifice more, things will get better. Have you ever wondered, how different would my relationships be if my partner just saw me as a human being that bleeds, that hurts, that needs? I love this quote from Maslow. A musician must make music, an artist must paint, a poet must write, if he is to ultimately be at peace with himself. Now, Maslow's hierarchy of needs runs on the premise that human beings' motivation starts with the basic food and water and safety and goes to the top, which is becoming everything they're capable of being. I had to learn that the law of reciprocity was the reason some of my relationships felt more fulfilling than others. I had to learn that I didn't need an explanation or excuses or alligator tears. I needed effort translated into actions. I needed to feel like I was not alone in the relationship. I was my first safe space. I was my first sanctuary, and I was my first confidant. Law number 2, the law of repair. This has to do with consistency in communication patterns when it comes to places of friction in the relationship, ranging from a miscommunication to unmet expectations. Before I understood that healthy relationships are not healthy because they lack conflict, before I was a support system, before I was a coach for women, I struggled so much with built-up resentment for a person I was supposed to be in love with. I secretly craved moments that were out of his presence. We get so clouded by the need to be accepted, the need not to be seen difficult. We cover up every lie, every unmet expectation with a false smile. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I happier outside of this relationship and away from this person? I cannot wait for the next boys trip or the next business trip so that I can breathe. Have you ever asked yourself, why does my relationship feel like I'm living for the weekend? I had to learn that healthy repair was the reason relationships stood the test of time. I had to learn that gaslighting, manipulation did not start when the relationship was in trouble. No. It was there from the beginning. I had to learn that asking the question, are we even going in the same direction, extended to the ability for us to fix things when we were on the rocks, when life happened. I was my first coach. I was definitely my first cheerleader, and I was definitely my first friend. Law number 3, the law of autonomy. Does this person value your personal growth? Have you ever heard a person say, the reason we're not together anymore is we grew apart? Wait, how does that even happen? If you continue the journey with us, we talk a lot about individuality in a relationship and how it could save your relationship. But for now, let's make it as simple as possible. Do you feel like this person would be a supporter of you to fulfill your dreams, or would they hold you back? Before I took the time to deal into the anatomy of heartbreak and how to heal a broken heart, I was broken and alone after my partner chose not to be with me. I had no frame of reference for being in love, and what it really felt like was I went with the flow. And I have to admit, that broke me in places I didn't even know were breakable. We have a tendency to give up who we are to conform to what somebody needs in that moment. We believe that our sacrifice of conformity will almost always be reciprocated to consistency and loyalty, but that's not always the case, is it? Have you ever looked back and you couldn't even recognize who you were in the mirror? The version of you see in a mirror looking back at you, a stranger. I had to learn that getting to know somebody doesn't mean to give up my goals or who I am. I had to learn that getting to know somebody doesn't mean I have to break promises to myself. I had to learn that in order to be a participant in a healthy relationship that would stand the test of time, I had to first build that relationship with myself, which meant keeping promises to myself, showing up for myself, even when I didn't want to. I had to be my first partner. I had to be my first better half, and I had to be my first real friend. When we don't see any growth in a while, we slowly fall out of love with the version of ourselves that broke promises. And then it can build resentment towards your partner, and that can lead to the dreaded heartbreak. The law of autonomy teaches us that sometimes people are not looking for a partner. Sometimes we need to be a partner. We need to be valued, and we need to feel like we're going places too. For those continuing education with me, we will dive a little bit deeper in how the law of autonomy can help with anxiety of getting back into the dating field. But simply put, somebody made us feel unworthy, unloved, maybe discardable. And we just need to know how we can make sure it doesn't happen again. This is exactly how you do it. If this video has been helpful to you, subscribe for more. I'm Coach Rachel, and I can't wait to connect with you again. Bye.